You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Monday, May 11th. I'm Maria Lizignoli.
I'm Johnny Connor. Thanks for listening and watching Four Things to Know.
Okay, our top story today. Legislators just have one more week to get their priorities across the finish line. Today at the state capitol, lawmakers are set to debate legislation supporters say would hold ICE accountable in response to Operation Metro Surge. As of this recording, we're still waiting on a vote in the Senate. They're talking about a package of bills that would ensure rules around ICE entering places where Minnesotans are learning and healing. And even if it passes, the real challenge to make it law comes in the Republican-led House, where GOP leaders have been vocal against state-issued ICE regulations. The legislative package in question aims to prevent situations like the tense confrontations we saw earlier this year between ICE agents and protesters, especially the one outside Roosevelt High School back in January. The collection of bills would place new limits on how immigration enforcement can happen in certain sensitive locations like courts, schools, colleges, hospitals, and shelters. It would also create new legal protections and civil remedies for people affected by ICE actions. This morning, we heard from healthcare workers, teachers, and advocates like Alex Ludesher from Unidos, Minnesota, who say these are reasonable protections for students and Minnesotans.
This is about making sure that our children can grow up in environments that are rooted in stability, learning, dignity, and care, not fear. Children deserve to be children. And right now, too many children in Minnesota are carrying the fear that no child should have to carry.
The bill would not stop criminal arrests or criminal investigations. We've reached out to House GOP leadership about this legislative measure, and we're still waiting to hear back. Hear more in our later newscasts.
Number 2 today, Minneapolis police are investigating after a Metro Transit bus crashed into a house at 4:30 this morning. Investigators say a southbound bus and a truck collided before the crash veered into a front yard. Authorities say the truck had been speeding and may have failed to stop at a stop sign. The driver of that truck died at the scene. According to investigators, no one was home at the time of the crash, and the bus was empty besides from the driver. Drew Kerr is a spokesperson for Metro Transit, and he says the bus driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and they are expected to be okay.
Terrible, loss of life, obviously, is a terrible way. In this manner, especially, it's just a terrible thing to see, and we hope our operator's okay, and that everybody that is, around this area that has to be witness to this is also okay.
Alcohol is not suspected to have played a role in this crash, but the investigation is still ongoing.
Number 3, we're following a strike vote happening today. A nurses union in the North Metro will vote on whether or not to authorize a strike. Nearly 600 nurses with the Minnesota Nurse Association will cast their ballots today. They work at North Memorial Health's Maple Grove Hospital. Union representatives like TJ Ziskowski, who's a nurse at Maple Grove Hospital, say they've been bargaining for a new contract with the hospital for more than a year.
Voting to strike isn't an automatic strike. It just doesn't happen after that. It gives us a tool. It's something to build off of to say, hey, we have this many nurses that are here and have a voice and are part of this team, and we want them to be their voices heard.
The hospital said in a statement, quote, "We are committed to reaching an agreement that supports the organization's long-term financial stability, enables the continued high standard of care we deliver to patients, and ensures a positive working environment for our nurses and teams," end quote. We will be sure to follow the outcome of this vote and update you as we learn more.
Let's get to your fourth thing to know today. Maria, a huge night on the ice.
Let's start with sports, right?
Yeah.
Put it in the top 4 because it really is a big night out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Wild and Frost, they both have massive games. We'll start with the Wild. We know they trail 2-1 right now against the Avs. Game 4 tonight, 7 o'clock in St. Paul. WCCO sports anchor Ren Clayton has a preview.
What we do know, Jesper Wallstedt back in net as expected. He's been so good, getting better, it seems, besides that game one in this series. And it really feels like it will be his job to lose the rest of the way, no matter how long this playoff run goes. No Jonas Brodin as expected, and no Joel Eriksson Ek. And John Hines announced today at morning skate, optional skate, that he will not play. So the Wild without another key piece of their team for one more game at least. A big, crucial game. The Wild's special teams finally got over the hump in Game 3. Can that continue? The PK was good. The power play was good. Finally, that will be another key as the Wild look to even the series at 2 games apiece. We will be there at Grand Casino Arena in the 4 o'clock and the 5 o'clock and the 6 o'clock show, getting ready for that big game. We'll talk to Matt Zuccarello, Marcus Foligno, and John Hines, as we mentioned. Be there for a big one.
And you're going tonight, right, Johnny?
I can't wait. Going as a fan. It's going to be so fun. The playoff games are the best, and this is a really big one.
A really big one. And another big one, staying on the ice, Minnesota Frost. They need to win tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. They forced a deciding Game 5 against the Montreal Victoire with a 3-1 win on Friday night, and now whoever wins tonight heads to the championship. Puck drop set for 6 p.m. And Maria, it's on the road tonight. You know, the Frost are up in Canada, and we know they're back-to-back Walter Cup champs, so this is a huge game to keep that going.
I mean, let's keep it in the family, right? Let's keep it here. That would be so cool to watch. I'll definitely be watching both games tonight.
Yeah, hopefully we talk about 2 wins tomorrow.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Those are your 4 things to know today. Let's get a check-in now on our next weather forecast.
Hi, I'm next weather meteorologist Lisa Meadows. Our low tonight down to 54. Tomorrow warmer, back up to 74. A little bit of light rain possible, mainly during the overnight hours. And then tomorrow will be a little breezy.
And now, here's more to know.
A family's search for answers continues. The family of a man shot and killed by Richfield police last month is reviewing body-worn camera footage of the incident. The April 29th shooting killed 27-year-old DeSaver Hollis of Plymouth. According to the BCA, police found surveillance of an alleged car prowler and tracked him down. Hollis then ran, and after a fight on the ground, they say Hollis opened fire. That's when an officer was hit in the hand. 2 officers returned fire, killing Hollis. According to the family's legal liaison, they reviewed body camera footage around 10 this morning. They then met with the BCA and investigators. Leaders with the BCA say they've been in contact with Hollis's mother, but they can't discuss the case with others who aren't immediate next of kin. We'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Now to another story we've been following for a while now, Maria. 18 Americans from the hantavirus-stricken cruise ship now back on U.S. soil. U.S. health officials say one person has tested positive for the virus and another has mild symptoms. 16 of the 18 American passengers are confirmed to be in the care of the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Doctors say patients will have the option to remain at the facility for the 42-day monitoring period. The medical team is also working to determine if an individual's isolation can be done from home. Here's more from John LaPook, CBS News' chief medical correspondent.
This, yes, can be spread from person to person, but over short distances. It's basically adapted to infect rat to rat, not human to human.
The World Health Organization says there are now 7 confirmed cases of the hantavirus associated with the Dutch ship.
Still really scary, I'm sure, to be someone who was on that ship, but I'm also sure it's very relieving to be back on solid ground.
Absolutely. And we know these people are getting the best care they can.
Hopefully, yes.
Isolation hopefully should solve, the issue.
But another 42 days in isolation after weeks of being on the ship, it's a lot, but hopefully it does really help solve the issue. Today, the Minnesota Senate unanimously approved a new watchdog agency to fight fraud. The House passed the bill tasking the Office of Inspector General with conducting fraud investigations, recommending law changes, and seeking court orders to freeze funding. The new agency may cost $3 to $6 million to set up and $11 to $12 million each year after. The bill now heads to Governor Walz's desk.
Happening tomorrow, a referendum vote in Lakeville. The district is asking voters to consider $139 million in bonding dollars. If that's approved, leaders say the money will be used for building additions and renovations for the district's 3 middle schools. They say this is due to growing enrollment and pressure on the existing spaces. According to the district, if approved, the tax would last for the next 20 years. They estimate that owners of a $500,000 home would pay about $14 per month. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow, and polling locations, they've changed in 2026, so just a heads up to check before you go to the polls.
Today at noon, there was a groundbreaking ceremony for a new community solar garden in Owatonna. And this one is one of 4 new solar gardens being constructed in Minnesota. Organizers say all of the companies involved with the project developments are based in Minnesota. They say households with low to moderate incomes will benefit from lower electric bills of 8% to 15% every year they subscribe to their community solar garden. Total savings for subscribers are estimated at $4.5 million over 25 years. Construction will also create 57 jobs and on-site apprentice training. And organizers say the projects are part of the state's newly renamed Melissa Hortman Community Solar Program. 1 month ago, Governor Tim Walz spoke about the program right after he signed the bill renaming it after Hortman into law.
I'm incredibly grateful to the House and Senate for honoring our colleague and our friend in such a meaningful program that was very, very special to her.
The other community solar gardens being constructed include 2 in Sartell and 1 in Kasota.
Okay, Maria, we have a couple more sports items to get to.
All right.
Let's talk about the Wolves. What a win last night.
It was really fun to watch.
And did you see Wembanyama get ejected?
I did.
Vicious elbow.
I didn't see the actual thing. Then my husband was like, Maria, look, oh my gosh. Yeah, I saw the replay. That was wild, just straight to the neck.
Well, and the crazy thing is, I thought the game was going to be over, after he was ejected. He's their best player, one of the best players in the league. And the Wolves were down 8 points in the fourth quarter. Anthony Edwards, though, put the team on his back.
Boom.
3 after 3.
It was so cool to watch. I agree. Wembanyama is crazy tall and crazy good.
7'4".
And usually I feel like, I don't know for sure, but when players are that tall, sometimes they're kind of like lanky and like not very coordinated.
Can't shoot well.
This guy defies all those odds.
He's unreal. He's
really good and super tall. So, it was kind of nice to have him kicked out of the game.
Yeah, poor anger management skills, though.
Right. So series is tied 2-2.
Yeah, going back to San Antonio. And this is great because now it's a best of 7, but it's turned into a best of 3, right? Best of 3, here we go. Let's hope the Wolves can get it done. Let's get to football, too, which is kind of surprising because it's not football season.
No.
But a Vikings legend will be inducted into the team's Ring of Honor this season. Adrian Peterson will become the 3rd running back to enter the Vikings Ring of Honor. Now, get this. I mean, obviously, everyone knows he's a legend. He has the most rushing yards and touchdowns by a Viking in team history.
Wow.
And the Vikings have been around forever, right, since the 60s. So Peterson will be eligible for the NFL Hall of Fame next year. He's basically a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer as well.
That's cool to hear.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
On Mother's Day, the Lake Superior Zoo announced 2 new residents. The Duluth Zoo's Cotton Top Tamarin recently welcomed twins.
Aww.
I know it. They're little. So if you don't know what a tamarin is, it's like a little monkey, kind of a fluffy little monkey. So they're pretty cute. And they were born in April, actually, but the zoo wanted the family to have some bonding time
for Mother's Day.
For Mother's Day, before announcing their arrival, and so they announced it on Mother's Day, which was really cool and
that's
exciting
so nice.
For the zoo. Yeah,
everyone should celebrate.
Everyone. Did you celebrate?
We had a great Mother's Day. We did a fun brunch in the morning, and then had a nice dinner at night. And we have to talk about your wine tasting because I'm on such a cliffhanger.
We talked about this Friday. How my sister set this up for our Mother's Day, where we bought an expensive bottle of wine. And then a super cheap, and by expensive, we bought like a $30 bottle of wine, which I never buy that expensive of wine for myself. And then we bought a $4 wine. And then there was like a 10 and a 20 also.
All right.
And it was a blind tasting. So we had to guess, which one was the most expensive, but also which one we liked the most. And it was unanimous. Everyone liked the $4 bottle the best. Literally.
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
I know it. And that just goes to show It doesn't matter what you pay.
It's all mental.
As long as you like it. Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. I
Wow.
know.
And how
I
were
know.
you feeling?
How was I feeling? Thankfully, we did this on Saturday. So we had a very chill Mother's Day.
That's so fun. $4. Good to know.
I know, Trader Joe's.
That's so funny.
Not sponsored.
I would have
but-
never guessed, honestly. I'm not a huge wine person, but I always feel like I like, higher quality.
You would
Clearly, it
think.
doesn't matter.
Clearly, it doesn't matter. I mean, maybe the hangover matters. I've always
Maybe.
heard and more expensive. It's a little bit, I don't know. But it was overall a very fun weekend.
That's
and
awesome.
Happy to be back at work and doing this for this Monday. Thanks for joining us here on 4 Things to Know. With Johnny Connor, I'm Maria Lizignoli, and we're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
Love podcasts? Love Minnesota?
Check out the WCCO podcast studio lineup.
Hear the top stories of the day with 4 Things to Know.
Discover top female athletes and teams from around the state on women in sports.
Dive into stories about faith and belief, from your local leaders to your neighbors next door, with bigger than belief.
Stay in the know on the go with the WCCO podcast studio. Go to WCCO.com/podcasts.